for more on the state of Petrobras and the Brazilian economy. I'm joined by Paulo Sotero. He's the Brazil Institute Director at the Woodrow Wilson Center here in Washington. Good to see you again.
Pleasure.
We got a lot of problems here. You have Petrobras, the allegations of corruption, the investigations of corruption. You have a falling oil price. You have a falling economy in Brazil. You have concerns about management. I don't even know where to begin to address the problems. But let's just try and attempt this. Let's start with oil prices. How big of an issue is lower oil prices for the company right now?
In the short term, it's actually lower oil prices is good for Brazil. It actually, Brazil imports oil also. So if you take the balance of oils that Brazil import and export, it is positive for Brazil.
But what about on the company Petrobras?
On the company Petrobras, it could become a problem for the development of the so-called pre-salt oil if oil prices stay below $45 a barrel for a long time, because that could put into question the viability of this project.
So let me see if I get this correct. There's an ongoing investigation about potential corruption of collaboration between the private sector and the public sector, especially at Petrobras. You are our experts, so you probably know things we don't even know. But this investigation, there's a lot of things we don't know yet, right? What could be some surprises that could come out of that?
Now, what we don't know yet is the extent of the assault. Petrobras was the target of an assault. This assault was promoted by senior executives at that company that are no longer there, in collusion with senior executives of companies that were suppliers to Petrobras. It is estimated that some $7 billion may have been lost on contracts that have been fixed, that they are manipulated, and this is under investigation.
Yeah.
The important thing, Phil, is that this was started by prosecutors in Brazil. The judiciary is on top of this, and the investigations proceeds with 11 people right now.
So what happens? First of all, for our viewers, these are allegations that are under investigation at this time,
Correct.
right? Okay, let me get that straight. What happens when the investigation is over, names start coming out, more numbers start coming out? What happens then to the credibility of the company?
Well, it depends on how we do the next step. First, Petrobras is fully operational. It's operating normally at now. It does not have access to markets, but it has hundreds of billions of dollars in reserves, and it has the full backing of the Brazilian government. Now, when this phase is concluded, people will be facing trials, criminal trials. Will take a certain amount of time.
Should Rousseff step in and I mean, is she, first of all, is some of the responsibility, could it fall on her? And second, is there anything she can do at this point to try to calm the situation down? Because I imagine if Petrobras does not succeed, the entire Brazilian economy also takes a hit as well.
Sure, but President Dilma Rousseff said that she supports the investigations. Either she supports it or not, doesn't matter. The prosecutor's office is independent, and it will continue its actions to review what happened, who are guilty, who is not, and what are the penalties, what are the fees, what are the consequences of this. Is very important, Phil, in order to, as one of the people interviewed in the set piece said, to make Petrobras independent. A company, yes, belongs to the state of Brazil, but it has to be run as an independent company with a board of directors that knows what they are doing. One of the risks for President Dilma Rousseff is that she could take a bit too long to change the leadership.
Well, very quickly, could there be a silver lining in this entire mess, that maybe some reforms take place, maybe some regulations, maybe people start following the rules?
The silver lining is this, Phil. One, This shows the strength of institutions in Brazil, because this investigation was initiated by the Brazilian Federal Police and the Brazilian Prosecutor's Office. What is happening already, Petrobras has created a vice presidency for governance, for compliance, and it has to change internally its controls so it can become a much stronger company. Petrobras is not going to go away. Petrobras continues to operate, has a very qualified technical people, and can be one of the most productive oil companies in the world.
Yeah, and look, we don't want to underestimate the impact this is going to have on Brazil's overall economy. Paulo Sotero, thank you very much for your analysis on this very important case.